Hello there and welcome to another Tuesday tutorial with Jillibean Soup. This is Amy Sheffer here, and today I'm going to show you how to combine Jillibean Soup's Shape Shaker products with shaped cards for a shaped shape shaker card. Say that 3 times fast. I saw an adorable card recently where the card was shaped as a mason jar shaker, and I couldn't wait to try that very same thing with Jillibean Soup's Shape Shaker products. Such a cute idea. Today I'll be using the mason jar stamps and dies, the jar shaker element, and a few different shaker fillers. I have seed beads here, some heart sequins, and some wood veneer hearts. Making shaped cards that incorporate shaker elements takes a tiny bit of engineering, so to speak, so let me show you how I've put this together. I'm starting with just a half sheet of white cardstock that I've scored at 4 1/4 and folded into a landscape-oriented card. What I'm going to do first is place the mason jar shaker onto the card with the top edge of the shaker lined up with the fold. I'll lightly trace around the shaker and hand cut, making sure to not trim at that fold line. The mason jar does have some nice straight lines, so if you're not one for fussy cutting, you could use a paper trimmer to cut along the straight lines, just don't cut at the fold, and then fussy cut just the rounded parts. If you'd like patterned paper inside the jar for a little pop of color, or maybe to get the look of a painted mason jar, then you'll need to trace the jar shaker onto pattern paper as well. And last, you'll need an outer frame to layer over the shaker element to hide the adhesive and to get a nice clean finished look. I've created the outer frame by tracing the jar shaker onto white cardstock and then using the jar die to cut out the inside. The first step for building the shaker is to adhere the patterned paper to the card base and stamp a sentiment. The next step is to fill the shaker. I like to add just a tiny bit of powder to help reduce the static, but be careful to use just a tiny amount or you'll end up with a haze inside your shaker. Now just peel off the adhesive and place the card upside down onto the shaker. Because the card base was made by tracing the shaker, it's super easy to get everything perfectly lined up, even with the card upside down. Be sure to give that a good press to seal that up nice and tight before turning it over. The last step is to stamp the outer frame and adhere that onto the shaker element. And that completes the shaker part of the card. Next, I'll be stamping all the florals and arranging them into a cluster. One tip I have is to arrange your florals and then adhere them to some sort of backer piece. I'm using a simple circle die cut. That way you'll have one flat surface to adhere to the mason jar shaker. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time adhering all these different floral elements individually. While I'm finishing up today's card, I'd love to tell you about who this card is for. The other day I was talking about a friend of mine who moved away a few years ago, and I was remarking how a few years back this friend gave me some of the best advice I've maybe ever gotten in my life. And as I was thinking about her, I thought, oh, I really should send her a card. I should tell her how much that advice meant to me, because she probably doesn't even know. And that made me think about Jillibean Soup's Give Back 2020 campaign. I don't know if you've seen that yet, but if you haven't, be sure and check it out on the Jillibean Soup blog. Give Back 2020 is a year-long campaign where we're spreading happiness as far and wide as possible and trying to think of more ways to put a little kindness out there into the world. Whether that's people you know, people you don't know, big service projects, or small random acts of kindness, the world could always use a little more cheer. Share your Give Back projects with us using hashtag GiveBack2020. We'd love for you to join us. For more project videos from Jillibean Soup, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.